Hola, and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including OKKO, which we'll be talking about today. I'm your host, Alex Bonilla, and today I'm joined by Michelle Anderer.
Hello.
And Steve Zeck.
Hello.
You can find our previous discussions on this show at overlyanimated.com. We've been covering OKKO for a while now, so you can catch up with our discussion there. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes at overlyanimated.com/iTunes or on YouTube at youtube.com/overlyanimated. And wherever you listen to us, we always appreciate any ratings or reviews you want to leave us. But yeah, today we're getting together for our December meeting of the OKKO podcast. We have two episodes to talk about. One is Super Black Friday, which came out around Thanksgiving, but it's airing on TV. We're recording this on Sunday, December 16th. It is airing on TV today. And we also have another episode of Plaza Alone, which was released online on the app also earlier this week. Mm-hmm. So we have two new episodes that we haven't talked about yet here, and we'll do a little bit of time breaking these down. But we'll start as usual with our general impressions. Michelle, how do you feel about these latest editions of OKKO?
So I had watched Super Black Friday a bit ago, and I really liked it, and I was coming in prepared to talk about how great it was, but then I was super blindsided by Plaza Alone, and now that's kind of all I can think about, so we might want to talk about that one first. I haven't felt that weird about a cartoon episode since that SpongeBob one where Squidward goes back in time and then to the future, and it gets really weird.
Is it because
that's how this episode made me feel? Basically.
Is it because that SpongeBob episode also has a sequence where Squidward just hears words of "alone"?
Yes.
Is that
yes! Why? That was part of it. It was more also just like the genuine, like just feeling very confused and like, where are we going with this? And it's still happening. Oh, it's getting weirder. Now he's a horse. Yeah. that kind of stuff. But I mean, they're both memorable for different reasons. I can say that.
Okay. That's a very strong endorsement. Steve, how do you feel about these two eps?
They're all right. They're both very good episodes. None of them are Boxman crashes, but it's still fine.
Because there's no Boxman.
Yeah. Yeah. I like both the episodes a lot. I think with Michelle, I think I like the recent episode better. Plaza Alone. I read your outline, Alex, and you did not mention the big story of the episode, and that is Dendi is back.
Yes, I'm sure that's a big story in for the 5 seconds she's on screen.
Wait,
but
I don't remember Dendi. Where was Dendi?
We'll talk about that later. This is a very minor detail that we'll get into. But,
I kind of like the joke though. KO 6 to 11. I kind of wonder, shouldn't he be 7 to 13 now, or 7 to 12?
We will discuss that as well. But so generally, you enjoyed the Plaza Alone episode, then? Okay.
Yeah, and I also enjoyed Super Black Friday. Anyone who's worked in retail can relate to that.
Yeah.
And of course, also big story, of course, was Enid was going to text Red Action, so.
Yes, I noticed that too.
Yeah, her quote unquote good friend, which I'm saying in quotations.
Sure, we'll talk about that. We've actually got a lot of like little things to talk about in both of these episodes. a lot of weird details, but I agree that Plaza Alone is. OKKO has gotten very surreal at times. Like, we've had that other episode where KO, like, goes into different dimensions with, like, Helen, or I forget what her name is, but, like, the ghost lady who he can only see. So we've had episodes like this before, but I think that Plaza Alone is, like, putting it to 11. And it's also, like, one of these episodes where they do the faces, like, a lot more cartoony than the usual OKKO episode, where, like, their eyes are really big, and sometimes they, like, have very, like, weird smiles and things in their faces. And especially the sequence where, like, the paranoia sets in and stuff, like, all that imagery, like, it does remind me of stuff like SpongeBob or, like, Gumball, where, like, they just go really off the wall. So I think that we say it sometimes when you're watching stuff like that, like is this what it's like to be on drugs, sort of thing. And I think that this is closer than the usual episode that inspires that statement. So it's when it starts getting like weird colors and images and stuff. So Plaza Alone, it's not innovative. What's the word? Well, it's trying really hard. Yeah, it's distinctive. That's a good synonym. Yeah, but yeah, it's trying really hard to like get to go for the weirdness of it, and I think it works for the most part. Like especially compared to like OKKO episodes that have tried this in the past. Like if you're gonna do this, go all the way, and I think that this episode is going all the way there. And Super Black Friday, it's like, I feel like it's more of an average OKKO episode. We'll get a bit into like the messaging of it, which is a little suspect as OKKO has done in the past, but yeah, Super Black Friday not as high on it, although there are pieces that are fine. But yeah, Michelle mentioned that Plaza Alone was more fresh in her mind, and also today was the first time I watched the episode.
It was the first time. Yeah, I watched them both today. Plaza. I mean, I'm gonna say I honestly like Super Black Friday more because it feels more cohesive. But Plaza Alone just like sticks in your head and lingers there.
Well, what is the image that sticks in your head the most of all the stuff that happens in this episode?
KO, you're a horse now. What was with all the horse? Like he's on a horse head, and then he's on a horse butt, and then he's riding a horse from like underneath the horse, and then he is the horse. Like where'd the horse thing come from? He's alone, but why is he a horse alone?
What stuck with me is KO thinking about eating rad.
Well, that.
Is that a callback to that genie episode we had last time?
Oh man, did he get turned into a hot dog in that episode?
That's the burger.
Burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a trend though. Good point, Steve. Like this does keep happening only to Rad turning into food all the time.
Rad turns into food a lot.
But this time KO just like ravenously consumes Rad's body and then once he eats, like, it's my birthday. Like, KO gets very creepy in this sequence. I was also impressed by the horse stuff. At first it's like a live action. It's not a drawn horse. It's like they put a clip art of a horse and then pasted KO's head on it at various times. So that was strange. There's also a point where like Enid is basically just the moon, like just a giant.
I just got flashbacks of Summer Camp Island thinking of a live moon. I miss that show.
that show wishes it could be as surreal as this episode.
Hey, it's still its first season. It's got time. Who knows?
We need more drug trips in episodes. And so like this is all inspired by if this being KO's birthday, and he shows up at Enid and Rad's house, and they're having a sad documentary night together, which is very sweet. Like these documentaries, how do you guys feel? Just like they just both of them that I think that they watch are just like, this guy's alone, he's sad, he's gonna be alone forever.
Well, like, the bee abandoning the flower was super sad, because you understand on a level the bee can't stay forever, has to go make that honey, but they're still gonna miss each other, and that flower at the end, I don't know if its petal fell off or it was crying, but it was sad either way. I felt for that flower.
Man, that was depressing, the poor flower. I can relate, though. I love watching stuff that just makes you sad. I love dramas.
I like dramas. I was actually kind of with KO because the documentaries weren't working for him, and watching documentaries is something my sister loves to do, but I don't get into it because I feel like documentaries are getting to a point where like there are all these genres and there are like certain things you do to try to frame a story a certain way, and then that just bleeds into narrative movies, and it's like, if I want to watch something that's not 100% real, I'm just gonna watch a narrative movie. Why do I want this weird middle ground with the documentary that can't ever be holistically objective?
Well, I like to watch documentaries about famous people and how their rise and fall.
Fix?
Yeah, yes, those are great. I know you guys remember this show called E True Hollywood Story? That was my.
What is that, Steve?
Well, that's like the one where like they follow the rock bands and the singers, and it's also
And the
following their
child
rise,
star,
and then
the child stars.
and the
Oh my
child
favorite.
stars too.
Ooh, child stars sound interesting.
Yeah.
And then they become alone and sad at the end of the documentaries.
Brad and Ina would love it. Maybe that's what they'll watch next Saturday.
We need an ex-child star character on this show. Just someone who was I guess who was once KO's age. I guess we get closest to let's watch the pilot. I guess KO was the childhood star.
Right.
Yeah. He sort of still is.
Yes. And he's always going to be that way according to this episode, 6 to 11. He's never going to age.
Yeah, so that's a gag that continues in this episode. Every time age is mentioned in OKKO, he stays 6 to 11. So since we're using the range, we don't have to say that he's now 7 to 12, because then that would indicate things. So now he's just still 6 to 11. Or wait, is that how math works?
I don't know. I'm not sure it's possible for him to be 6 anymore. He can't be 6 anymore. If he's 6 to 11, he age one number. He can't be 6 anymore. So it has to be 7 through whatever. You want to put 7 through 12?
Yeah, if you want to like move the range up a year, then 7 to 12. Yeah, you're right. He can't be 6 anymore, can he?
I think I understand. I think what this means is, so he's still within the range. If he was younger than 6 or older than 11 with this new birthday, they would have to change it. But if he was 9 and he became 10, the range still makes perfect sense, right?
That's true.
So it confines his age more than anything. Like, we can start taking away numbers now. Like, if he was 6 before, and now he's at least 7, and we know that, and we know he's not older than 11, so there you go. One number's gone. That's great. Somebody update the wiki.
I don't know about you guys. So 6 was a very milestone birthday for me. Was that a milestone birthday for you guys?
I don't remember anything before I turned 6 years old.
I remember when I turned
Alex, I remember being 6 and seeing like 8-year-olds and being like, wow, I can't wait until I'm 8. 8 does feel a lot bigger than 6.
I remember when I was 6, that's when I stopped using baby chairs or high chairs, whatever it was. That's when, So that's why I always remember my 6 when I turned 6. That was a big change for me.
This is a relevant observation because in this birthday, KO gets a bib to eat his cake with.
Why didn't they dress him like that?
Yeah, what's the age where you're too old to wear a bib, or is there an age for that?
It depends on every child, just like eating.
There's some adults that should still wear bibs, or you're like 40, we're just really messy eaters.
Well, I guess like when you go to fancy restaurants, there are like some people who use that like not tablecloth, but like the cloth thing.
If you eat lobster, they give you those bibs for eating lobster for some reason.
Boxman still needs to use a bib, no matter what.
He's a sloppy guy.
Yeah.
You need the extra help.
Yeah, he just dives into the food. That's his philosophy on life. Just dive into things.
So he's 100% everything he does. The eating, fighting. I like it. He's straightforward.
Yeah. And KO is growing up to be like that too. He just dives into the cake. But he does the birthday wish for a birthday alone with Rad and Enid. And so the premise is that they go to the plaza and everything's empty except for Rad and Enid, and they like goof around and stuff. Enid is touching Rad's butt for a couple of times.
She karate chopping him.
Yeah, eventually she karate chops through him, and it's like, hey, it's a mannequin.
I feel like, did they get an SMP note where someone's like, hey, you have to make it obvious that he's not dead. You gotta say it. You gotta say the line.
It was kind of funny to just, like, for the split second of him being split in two before they say he's a mannequin. It's like,
what? Yeah.
And also they like go to the arcade. They play Dance Dance Revolution, which is have we seen Enid? Well, no, Enid and Rad have danced before.
Just not on this particular game.
I still say to the day, do they still have arcades? Because I used to when I was a kid, arcades was like the big thing, and I thought they sort of became extinct in this country.
I feel like they're more niche now, maybe, but I think that they're still a thing. Like, I feel like movie theaters definitely still have those rooms dedicated to arcade
I'm talking
games.
about a whole like building that's just an arcade. Not like I know there's still little arcades in movie theaters. I'm talking about a business that's strictly an arcade.
Well,
actually, there's the Nickelcade, which was a hit when I was a child, where you only get to use nickels to play games.
Also, Steve, let me introduce you to the magical wonderland that is Dave & Buster's. They will have many.
Dave & Buster's. I gotta look that up.
Oh, it's a restaurant chain that like has an arcade section in its restaurants. Yeah, that's their theme.
I do know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they have arcade games? I feel like they might.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, I think they.
I have never eaten Chuck E. Cheese. Is their pizza any good? Or
it's like fine. If you're a kid, you're gonna eat it.
I remember when I was a kid. The place I went, place with me and my friends. The place we went to like for kid birthday party was Pizza Hut. That was the place.
Yeah, but does Pizza Hut have a Dance Dance Revolution machine in it?
A ball pit.
But it was in my day though. Pizza Hut though had this promotional like relationship with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's why it was so popular back then.
Yeah, that makes sense for young Steve to be persuaded by, but
I'll give my age away a little bit.
But so they figure out everything's empty, but they begin hearing spooky noises, and then they investigate in the break room, and they get locked in. Eventually, it's revealed that the people who are organizing the party, everyone else in the plaza, including Carol, Mr. Gar, and Dendy, who shows up for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, Dendy's back. He's not dead.
So Dendy is the one who convinces them to lock the door, right? She's the only one who likes KO enough, but would also be cold-hearted enough to lock the door.
Oh, no, it was totally Dendy. She's like, we gotta sell this 100%. No consciences here. We're doing it for the surprise.
Yeah, and Radicles and Enid cannot be trusted.
Yeah, I like that. And they think about it, and they're like, oh, no, it's true. It's good you didn't tell us.
Yeah, at the very least, Rat couldn't be trusted. I tell you though, surprise parties sometimes can backfire. Like I said, I don't know if you've seen in Sailor Moon, there's a surprise party that really backfired because someone turned into this villain because they thought someone forgot their birthday. So sometimes it's a risk trying to throw a surprise party. It can backfire.
It's true,
you gotta know the person enough to know if they'd actually appreciate that. I don't think I'd appreciate a surprise party. I think it'd just give me a lot of anxiety. Like, all these people I didn't get to mentally prepare for. Thank you. Yeah. I'll try to act normal now.
But KO is pure enough that he
I loved it. They nailed it.
Yeah, he appreciates the efforts put into this, but of course the previous 4 minutes were hell for him and Enid and Rad as they go through chaos together.
It's not the whole thing. I mean, the security camera, they have that forever to remind them of their darkest days.
But from outside, it's just like them in a circle together, and they're just in the fetal position, just rocking back and forth.
They could put that on the KO YouTube channel.
Does KO have the wherewithal to just be like, hey guys, I know we had a really rough time there, but the views we should.
I think KO would ask permission. I think he'd just be like, oh, that was a time we had a horrible experience together. Love it. I want to share it with the world.
Oh man, yeah. And hopefully, and I know it would be too bad to me to let Red or Elodie see it. And Rad, I'm not sure who's the person he's closest to outside of our group.
Enid.
No, besides Enid, I'm talking outside of our group. Yeah. I don't know, but probably just some random girls. He just doesn't want to see it.
Van, honestly, would be the next closest.
Yeah, we've covered. I think we've covered the major weird imagery in it. Just in general, they just keep switching colors. They're neon at times, as if they're signs on a building. There is the documentary voice of being sad and alone, talking about KO, and I think that's what we mentioned earlier. That kind of reminds you of the gag from the SpongeBob episode where we're surrounded by alone. So, and anything else that stood out that we haven't mentioned from that sequence? It felt really long but
It did, and I think it's just the discomfort because it wasn't expected, and we didn't know where it was going with that. What's gonna happen? It felt like every millisecond was a minute.
This whole episode was unexpected. I didn't even know about it until Alex emailed me talking about a podcast. I'm like, is another episode out?
When one of the Twitters posted it, I was like, what? Like, where? This is not one of, like, the 6 other episodes that's on the wiki that's going to come out next year. Why is this on the app already?
Cartoon Network just uploaded a whole bunch of episodes of their shows that day, including Craig of the Creek. And, it's just one of those, like, it should randomly pick the 13th. I'm glad they did it on a Thursday instead of a Friday, because Friday was when the new season of Ultron was coming out. So thank you, Cartoon Network. You're doing it a little early, not doing it on Friday.
Yeah. I think a Thursday is like the middle of the work week. So sometimes you just need to like buzz out and just like watch like a drug trip episode.
Something very exactly.
Yeah.
You need to disassociate for 4 minutes.
Right, and then you're ready to face the final day of the work week afterwards.
Yeah, you gotta see this. You gotta see Barry the superhero. What a weird day.
So yeah, that was Plaza Alone. That happened this weekend.
Isn't it also maybe an Avatar nod alone to a couple like Zuko alone, Korra alone?
See, I was gonna.
I think their universe has the copyright for the word alone, so I would say no to that.
No, and I was gonna make that joke if the episode title was KO alone. Like, the character name needs to be in the episode title for that to work. But it's just Plaza Alone. It's more like, once again, there's a SpongeBob episode where Bikini Bottom is entirely abandoned, and SpongeBob is just, like, wandering, like, going across all the empty places. So, like, it's more like that kind of an homage, where it's just like, drop main character in empty place and see what they do before they go crazy.
Go crazy.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know who Brad might be embarrassed to see this. Those two skeletons. The skeleton guy and the other guy.
I guess. I don't think he's that close with them, but...
Red Action and the Bird Lady, because he wants to be cool, and he's very concerned with what they think about him, so that could really freak him out if they ever saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Now, actually, Brad does have interaction with Brandon in this other episode, Super Black Friday. Speaking from it generally, like, this episode is talking about the phenomenon of Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, where people go shopping, and it's become this whole event. And the show portrays it as like a tradition for people at this point. The retail people are like, hey, it's stupid. Why are we doing this? And they want to go. And then this, the principal, who is like a Santa Claus looking person, and he's actually named Principal Claus.
He legit is Santa. Is there a question about that in there, Alex?
We'll talk a little bit later about that, but just like, for now, we'll just call him the principal. But like, he's making the case that like, hey, this is a tradition for people. We should respect that and like, help them out and stuff. And I feel like the end of this episode, like, it's weirdly saying like Black Friday is a good thing at the end of the day because it makes people happy. Like, it's a weird thing because this is a show about people who work in retail, right? And like the retail atmosphere is like, Black Friday is the time where like people who work in that industry get the most amused because they're working on like a time where they should be going with people, and yet we're like, Black Friday is fine. You should be happy to work for it because you're making other people happy. Well, so it's a weird thing for me. I don't know.
Pretty sure the people who work on the show posted online saying this is not pro Black Friday. So,
really?
That's supposed.
They say that, and that's fine, but you don't. I in the episode, I don't know if that gets the case across. Like, it feels like a confused message to me here.
I would agree with that. Usually it's a lot more transparent what the message has been, like in Let's Not Be Skeletons or the episode where Dendi gets her own POW card. Like, there's a very clear message there. I would agree with you, Alex. This one does feel a little more ambiguous because, like, initially it's like, yeah, Black Friday is just boring, drudgery, it's stressful, we want to be with our families, and then it kind of flips around like, oh no, this is every tradition starts somewhere, and this one exists for a reason, and it brings people together. But the issue is still the retail workers and how it's not great for them. And it still ends up not being great for them when everyone comes in the store, and it's chaos for a solid minute, and then they finally leave, and it's okay again. So, yeah, I don't know where we land with that message. I mean, I guess, like, realistically, like, outside of, like, what this episode says, I'd say, you know, Cyber Monday is kind of becoming a bigger deal than Black Friday. A lot.
Going to stores.
Plus, if there was no Black Friday, I mean, those, like, last desperate shopping days right before Christmas are still probably the worst thing ever for retail. So I don't know if Black Friday is, like, on average still worse than that. So I don't know. It's a little ambiguous how we should feel.
And let's be real here. Black Friday, most people go buy some Black Friday. They're mostly buying from themselves and their immediate family. It's not going Christmas shopping for other people.
And that's the thing, like, this episode, like, tries to couch and, like, hey, people are spending time together. Like, there's a whole, like, community coming
spending time
around.
together trying to kill each other, trying to get stuff.
Yeah, later they...
Until the store opens, then it's a mad free-for-all. But before that, you can have friends in line.
Yeah. Have any of you guys ever done the whole, like, tent outside a line thing?
Oh, that feels too intense, honestly.
Not to get in a store. Maybe for a record signing, but...
Well, have you done that? Have you done that?
Oh, yeah, I've done that. I've done that. In my youth, I've done that for
okay.
signing.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you're in, like, a tense situation, like, do you interact with the people next to you in the line? Or?
Oh, yeah, because I know those are people who like the same, like, thing I like, so we just talk about our fandom and stuff. It's like if we go online, it's like if you go to, like, New York Comic Con, like, you online for, like, a Steven Universe panel, you know their fellow Steven Universe fans, you can just talk about the show together, talk about the stuff we talk about.
Actually, Steve, that's a very good point, because I will say the one thing I have waited in hours for was the 6th and 7th Harry Potter books when they were released at Barnes & Noble. Those were events. People came in costume. You bonded over your fandom. It was just like a whole community ritual, and that did make it kind of extra special versus just buying it off of Amazon. So, like, looking at it through that lens, I kind of understand a little more where they're coming from, but yeah, the retail things would just kind of makes this a little weird if it's just supposed to be positive.
And like, all these people are in line for the hits Christmas toy of the year, which is Blorby. So, like, are these people in a fandom for the Blorby? Like, are they bonding over that?
Oh, I'm pretty sure some of them just want to get that so they can just sell it online and make some money.
Oh, for sure.
Do you guys want a Blorby? He does jiggle. That is cute. But
I think he'd make a really good stress ball, or like he'd make a funny sound when you push on him, and that could be fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll show you the biggest toy. It's I want to search reference to Tickle Me Elmo, and remember that was like the hot toy at one time.
That was the hot toy at one time.
Yeah.
Also, like in Jingle All the Way, there's like that one toy that like everybody's chasing.
Turbo
like
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, Turbo Man. I don't like that movie. the dads fight so like intensely and aggressively, and they play so dirty. I don't know, man. It's not very sportsmanlike.
Yeah, and the kid's a brat too. Oh man!
See, that's that movie does show the dark side of Black Friday that this episode refused to show us, except for the Stampede.
Just the Stampede is as close as it got.
Yeah, and also like the kid is trying to like take Rad as her Blorby.
Rad's like, just because I'm blue doesn't mean I'm a Blorby, but she still tries to stick him in a box.
Oh man, I think that's I think that's a reference to it. Something happened in one of the Smurfs movies. I think there's. Didn't that happen? One of the movies?
I don't know, but it could just be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing that people think all blue people are the same, I guess. Like that's a racist thing that happens. But yeah, so also another thing that comes around this, we mentioned Principal Claus. We are in Chuck's Giving. There's inflatable corn outside. And this is why I hesitate to say this is actually Santa Claus. because we know that in this universe, God is corn. So the Santa Claus is related to our Christmas traditions. But could it be that in this universe, Claus is just a guy named Claus who happens to be fat and a beard? But since there's no Jesus and there's no Christmas in this universe, there can't be a Santa Claus.
Oh.
I disagree with this for the simple fact that he has magic floating dust in his nose. Everyone levitate and fly over the city. So there's something going on with him. He's magical for sure.
And really, man,
he's not just a principal.
do we really need the religious aspect of Christmas for Santa Claus to exist? I mean, it's pretty much at this point. Santa Claus is pretty much is non-exclusive to Christians and Catholics. He's an iconic character beyond religion anymore.
Okay. I see your point. So do you think that in this universe, corn Jesus is angry that Santa Claus exists then?
I think maybe you were on the right track, Alex, when you said that he's not Santa Claus. He could be like Cobb Claus to fit into the god of corn aesthetic.
So like he reports to the corn god for like
maybe that's where he gets his magic from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically, the only reason I bring this up, I want more corn. Like, I saw, like, the inflatable corn outside of Carol's house, and I was like, yeah, I want more of that.
Want more corn?
Yeah, I want
what's weird about this corn god, though? Because, like, if corn's a god, they were eating popcorn, watching the documentaries in Plaza alone. Isn't that against the rules somehow? You can't, like, eat... Your God can, but then again, eating the bread and drinking the wine.
Exactly.
Okay, that solves that.
See, when you're watching movies, you're getting closer to your corn god by consuming his kernels.
Yeah. I'm sure if he is like this version of Santa Claus, I'm sure he gave Boxman's children some coal for Christmas, or what's the version of coal?
Well, he didn't just give them coal. He beat them up, pushed them into the concrete, and said, "Ho ho ho!"
Into the ground.
Man, he's rough. Even I know they're robots still, but still. Yeah.
Cobb Claus is ripped. That's the headline.
Don't mess with him.
Cobb Claus, we'll just keep calling him that. He is apparently the protector of this line. He avoids the answering of if he has family, because he's like, all these people are my family, so.
He's like, Daddy! He's like, no.
Yeah, that was great. KO still, his daddy issues are yet to be resolved.
We'll get that resolved someday.
He knows.
We'll get that resolved someday. I mean, I was just thinking about that today, about KO's dad. Will we ever find out who he is? Is it shadowy figure? Is it...
He's totally shadowy figure.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of family, like at the beginning, as we already talked a little bit about, but Mr. Gar is like, yeah, you're right, Black Friday's stupid. Let's just go spend time with the ones we love. Mr. Gar goes to Carol, so that's nice. Rad calls his family. And Enid is like, I'm going to text Red Ash to see what she's doing.
On one hand, it's awesome texting Red shows how close they are. On the other hand, it just shows how she just doesn't want to spend time with her family. Like,
that's true. Maybe her family doesn't celebrate it. A witch and a werewolf, do they have Chucksgiving?
Yeah, is the witch anti-corn god?
I don't know.
But I just like, it's like, spend time with the ones you love, and then it's like, Enid that's red action, so like that's just a nice continuation.
They're such good friends, right, fellas? Right?
Friends that smooch each other without money.
They go on holiday dates together. That would be
hands
nice.
together, hard.
Yeah, nothing going on there.
Yeah. Other characters shows up later as Cobb Claus is like teaching them the true meaning of Black Friday. He like goes to visit Brandon, and Rad is very angry. He's like, you betray your retail. Oh no, it's Enid, I think. Like, you betray your retail brethren, because Brandon left left Magic Skeleton alone in the store to deal with Black Friday. So continuing Brandon just not being, it's tough. I won't say he's a bad friend, because he's had his moments.
He's he's going to buy him a Blurby. He just kind of doesn't understand the other repercussions of leaving, but he is doing it for a good reason.
Yeah,
he's just a friend who doesn't consider consequences, which
exactly
they exist out there.
Yeah, he's trying.
That's why he's the Patrick of the show. He has a lot of devotion. It's just a little. He's very tunnel vision sometimes.
Yeah. And later, they get coffee from the barista, and it turns out it's from Joe Cuppa. I think this is his first appearance in a while. I
forgot he existed.
Yeah. He does his usual coffee jokes, and he sees them leaving. It's like, hey, did you order a triple shot to go?
I remember. Oh, now I remember.
They're still not into the magical experience of Black Friday, and Cobb Claus has to force them to return and appreciate it some more.
Now I remember Joe Cuppa. He's pretty much what I like to think of animated Ed Asner.
Yeah, well, he's the failed stand-up comedian who
or Don Rickles, or
But would you? It's weird because his head is coffee, and he pours the coffee out of his head. But would you have any qualms with drinking that coffee? Because I don't know.
If it's real coffee and I don't have to pay for it, no, I drink it.
I'm not really into coffee to begin with, but I don't know. It has had some milk in it and sugar and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could dress it up, Steve.
Can't drink your coffee black. Huh?
Yeah.
Somebody gives it to you for free, and you still ask for extra stuff. No, I agree.
Steve doesn't want to taste the Joe Cuppa essence. That's all it is.
Yeah. No, and to be fair, I also order my coffee with cream and sugar, so I'm not one to judge here, but. They all share hot drinks together, and later he takes them to see Beardo's burrito place, and he has made a burrito with a full Shucksgiving dinner. There's turkey and stuffing and stuff. Burrito seems okay. Turkey is a meat that really can't go wrong in any way you use it, I think. But later he wants to charge them money, and
KO just pretends he's gonna pay him, and then he just gives the bitten burrito back and runs away.
Yep. That's one of the moments that kind of hints at oh hey wait, but Black Friday is also all commercialism and stuff, so maybe that's not great. But that's a brief moment there.
Oh man, where is Linus when you need him?
Well, I'm curious though. You bring this up because he has the Great Pumpkin, so I guess the pumpkin is his god. But then
totally.
can the Great Pumpkin and the Corn God be in coexistence? Are they enemies in this universe?
They're full vegetables. Of course they can coexist.
So this Super Black Friday, what's the name of this holiday? Shucksgiving?
Yeah, Shucksgiving.
So this is pretty much this is just a fusion of Thanksgiving and Christmas? So when are we going to have a real holiday episode?
That's actually that's a good thing to point out, because this is technically KO's holiday episode.
But I really like to do a holiday episode when Boxman tries to steal it, like the Grinch.
Oh, that would be so good. And Venomous could help him, and they succeed. And Fink would have the best Christmas ever.
Yeah, Fink is the one who
Fink
comes
would get
out
all the
yay! But instead, it's just Daryl and Shannon who show up to try to ruin Super Black Friday. They just kick people's coffees out and stuff. But Principal Claus beats them up into the ground. The crew decides to open the store because they realize, hey, these traditions are as important to you as our family stuff is to us. And they get stampeded, and everyone's happy. They bring pie. Everything's great. Principal Claus ends it with the episode ends with us zooming out, and the plaza is in a snow globe, and Principal Claus just says, "Stay in school."
It was a very funny line, just because it was what? We're ending there, really?
I'm not sure it was reference to. How many of you guys probably never heard this show, Saint Elsewhere, the series finale? How it turned out it was all the whole show was all a dream of this kid who had this snow globe, or was the whole show took place in a snow globe? It's really out there ending for just a normal hospital drama. It's I guess the writers of the show
drama that existed in a snow globe.
Yes, It's
What?
like they must have been on something, the writers, when they wrote this series finale.
Wow.
Although this does raise the question, does all of OKKO occur inside of this snow globe? And if so, then is this principal able to transport himself into other shows that also occur in snow globes?
I mean, we don't know the full extent of his magic, so, I mean, it's possible, right?
Yeah, like we can make like a whole cartoon universe using Claus as our connector now that we know that he's able to leave the universe of OKKO and just watch it from the outside.
Didn't we have Uncle Grandpa to do that? But
maybe he and Uncle Grandpa are friends.
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe Claus took Uncle Grandpa out of his snow globe and threw him into the Steven Universe snow globe, and Claus is really the one who causes all cartoon crossovers to happen.
Maybe.
Really makes you think.
I was thinking about the logistics of that, actually. It kind of spun out of control, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so really the moral of this is that Black Friday is a commercialist nightmare, but that Principal Claus will make everything feel better, I guess.
Is he the principal of KO school, or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because so many schools, he's not the only one who goes to school, but.
Yeah. I guess we should mention he has appeared in the show before. He was in that Mystery Science Fair episode.
As if he's there, we don't see Miss Quantum there. I'm kind of weird. And this would have been a good episode also to bring back Dendy to be part of this thing, but
I contend that Dendy is totally anti-commercialism. She doesn't understand why this is a tradition. She only sees logic, and logic says that standing outside in the cold in the line is not a real thing.
Wouldn't she want to spend holidays with her pal at KO?
I guess.
Yeah.
She was catching up on her coding over the holiday season. She's got her own stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
So final thoughts before we begin wrapping up here on these two very different episodes.
Well, it's those two very good episodes. I'm very glad that we got a little Red mentioned in one of the episodes and have Dendy back. I'm very interested to see what happens with the whole Carol and Mr. Guard's relationship in this episode, because I think that eventually when Mr. Gar finds out the stuff Carol's doing behind his back, could be trouble. So it could be a foreshadow to that.
They're in their honeymoon phase right now, so we'll leave them be for a little bit. But yeah, so sometimes stuff is gonna hit the fan. Michelle.
Yeah, and I still want the Red and Elodie to meet.
Okay, thanks for the update on that.
So sorry.
You're gonna keep using that as a final thought, until 2020. Michelle, your final thoughts.
I want to see what Boxman and Venomous are up to. I am sure they're making great strides in the Boxman Empire. And I'm kind of curious how Gar and Carol's relationship is going to progress too, because she is keeping things from him. And points definitely, we've established in the last arc with Enid that it is getting kind of sketchy with them. So I feel like that's going to have to come back into focus at some point. So I'm curious, but we don't have to get there anytime soon. I like random episodes like this. It's good for introducing, Cobb Claus, who we haven't seen in a long time. Who doesn't want that in their holiday season?
Cobb Claus is coming to town.
He's gonna thrash you.
Yeah, he's gonna thrash your list. You better be nice. If you're naughty, he's gonna beat you to a pulp.
Isn't there that one song where Santa hits Grandma with a reindeer or something?
No,
like that?
No! Grandma gets run over. Santa doesn't do any. Well, actually, I guess he's driving the sleigh, huh?
Right.
No, that's true. I guess it is kind of his fault.
I want to be reminded of that.
So I'm saying this version of Claus would probably be the one who does that.
So.
The grandma did something wrong, and he runs her over with a reindeer.
Yes.
One of the worst Christmas specials of all time. It's a terrible song too.
Do you see an actual thing that exists in the world?
Yeah.
There's a movie about grandma getting run over by reindeer. Steve?
I think there is, yeah.
Yes, there is.
God.
Oh, I want to link you to that, Michelle.
No, I've already had my full of bad. They're gonna air this thing.
Don't, they used to air on Cartoon Network every year.
Well, they're gonna. Steve, if you like bad, really weird, really bad, animated Christmas things, they're gonna air this, like, Elf on the Shelf thing called, I'll see if I can even remember it. It's called Elf Pets, Santa St. Bernard Saves Christmas, and this is one of the first movies I've had to watch.
Is this live action?
And it's animated, and it's really weird.
Oh.
I'm not sure children need to see this, honestly.
Oh, I thought it's gonna be like one of those talking animal live action movies, like Santa Paws or.
I think it's worse than that. And let us know what you think.
Well, I just tell you though, it's just terrible. I tell you though, underrated Christmas special. I've been saying the 2009 special version of Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus. I highly recommend people check that one out. Used to air on TV, but seek it out because it's really excellent. It's a shame it's not airing no more.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad Christmas media out there. I think this episode was an okay holiday. Compared to the standard that has been set by other stuff, this has been above average.
An okay special for an okay KO show.
Yeah. Also, I think Plaza alone is a little better than okay, so that's good. Right. But until I think last time I said that we weren't going to have that many more episodes in 2018, and I was wrong because we're doing another podcast now. But as of now, there are no other episodes that we haven't talked about that will air in 2018. So
yeah, I think this is it.
It's probably
Yeah, theoretically, we shouldn't come back to talk about OKKO until the new year. We'll see what happens then. But
I think I know where they could do the big Mr. Gar-Carol relationship drama episode in February around Valentine's Day. That could be when stuff hits the fan.
Good scheduling theory. That would be nice. Until there are other episodes to talk about, you can look at other stuff we've covered or previous OKKO podcast coverage at overlyanimated.com. You can also talk with us about OKKO, about other Christmas animation stuff, or any other stuff you want to talk about at overlyanimated.com/Discord. You can also support us financially via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. And thanks to all of our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Hugh, aka Hugh Neutron. And thanks as always to our Patreon executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, and Hugh. Besides OKKO, we've also covered in recent times Voltron, Miraculous Ladybug, Ruby. On Cartoon Network, Steven Universe is coming up, so we'll be covering those episodes as they air over the holidays. We are also having an Overly Animated, our annual awards ceremony, recognizing the best in animation. And I believe that later, if you're listening to this on Sunday, we will also have an announcement of those nominations. Stay tuned to see if OKKO is included or not in any of the categories. But so there's a lot of stuff for you to cover, for you to listen to if you're interested in more animation content besides OKKO as we wrap up the year. And thanks to everyone who's been listening to us throughout this entire year. We've had a lot of stuff to talk about, and we appreciate anybody who likes to listen to our thoughts. So thank you very much. For that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So on that note, thanks for listening to this one, guys, and we'll talk to you in 2019. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.